I am frustrated. I am so frustrated. Guys, what's up? Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and truthfully, I don't understand how many times we have to have this conversation. Maybe it's because there are new people who are joining this community. Maybe it's just because people are getting very, angsty or whatever. It's just frustrating to talk about the VAs of Love and Deepspace again and again and again, and asking the community to just respect their space. There is a reason why they're not publicly going out there and saying, hey, I voice Raphael, hey, I voice Zane. There is a reason why they're not doing that, even though they do other works, even though they're going to take on other projects. They're not going to admit that they're working for Love and Deepspace because it is clearly in their contract. Like we just need to understand that it is in their contract that they can't reveal who they are. And this is something that people need to understand. Okay, people need to understand this, because why did I come across this post and multiple other posts about people witch hunting Silas's English VA? Guys, like, what the actual heck? Please, everybody, just use your brains, okay? Like, this is posted by Silas Versary. Why the hell are y'all witch hunting Silas's English VA? You need to seriously calm down. He's out here working, breathing life into Silas. The disrespect is so unreal. This cross the line, embarrassing behavior, touch grass, not people. Leave him alone. And it is quite frustrating. So I'm gonna give you guys some context. Silas's VA, or Silas's alleged VA, because he's never actually admitted that he was Silas's VA, has released himself in another role in another game. And people, this is a very popular game that a lot of people play. It's not necessarily the top 3 right now, but it is still pretty popular. And it's a character that had come out previously, and people heard his voice and they were like, oh my god, this sounds familiar, this sounds like Silas. Now everybody's saying that that voice actor is Silas, and they're basically trying to, I don't know what you want him to do, guys. You're hunting him down, you're trying to at him, and well, for what? He's never gonna admit that he's Silas. Literally, that is never going to happen. And because he's never admitting that he's, a specific voice actor for Love and Deepspace, he will not be removed from the game either. This is something that people need to also understand. If the voice actor themselves admits that they are that specific character, then that gives, I guess, Infold some grounds to get rid of them because they're breaching a contract or something in their contract about that. But it really is just about respecting the man and let him do his job. Like, he is a voice actor, he is going to be in other games, he's going to be in other projects. We're going to hear him, especially if his voice acting is this good. We're gonna hear him everywhere, and that would be really, really nice, right? But I would also like to just keep him in Love and Deepspace as Silas. But unfortunately, apparently, guys, here, that's not the worst part. This is a reply to this, I believe, or a different post. Was it? Let's click on this and then let's go up. Okay, so it was a reply. The replies to this was actually quite interesting, this specific post. LMAO, he revealed himself though like a week ago. He didn't reveal himself or confirm anything. This is exactly why assumptions cause unnecessary drama. Please check the facts before running with your own version. I know, like, I don't understand. I actually personally came across his profile of him announcing that he was, being cast in a different game, and that he was very grateful for the following, for the support of his fans and all of that stuff. And everybody's like, oh my god, he admitted that he's Silas. I'm like, no, he admitted he was playing in a different role. Like, who? Can you guys read? Like, it's literally in his post. And nowhere on his profile does he say that he's Silas's voice actor. Nowhere on his profile does he say he's working for Love and Deepspace. Even if you go to his website, even if you go to anything that is linked to him, he is not online affiliated with Love and Deepspace in any way. Why is there static? In any way, shape, or form, okay? And then there's this person here who says that's not the worst part. There's a C inside of the fandom who is trying to potentially find all info on this VA to take him down by looking for any problematic history on him based on who he allegedly is. Allegedly, because we still don't know if this is really confirmed, because that voice actor didn't say that he is voicing Silas. Racism is taken in context too because of his ethnicity. It sucks. The man only does his job well, and I highly respect his voicing skills. No voice actors shouldn't be harassed like that. May he stay hidden. Crow emoji. So yeah, apparently the NDA will only take effect if he himself reveals he voices Silas in Love and Deepspace. Even if people find him, if he doesn't reveal that he does voice Silas, he won't get fired. So this is something that is super important, guys. He is never going to admit, none of the voice actors in Love and Deepspace are going to admit that they work for Love and Deepspace. So please stop harassing them. I don't understand why people are going out of their way to try and harass these poor voice actors who are just trying to do their job, trying to give us an amazing experience in this game, guys. Like, just chill, just kind of, you know, step back. And this post I saw on Instagram, this is reposted from TikTok. So this is Peachy Coos. I think some people may know who she is actually, because I think she does have a following over on TikTok. I'm not actually sure. I'm not active on TikTok. I don't know if I should be. But this is what she has to say about the situation, and I'll make my own little comments here and there.
Because that's literally just his job, guys. Like, come on.
Okay, that's
I don't know why we like to think of the worst case scenarios and also spread so much misinformation when it comes to Silas's voice actor, because, like, I thought this was old news, right? And I made a story about this, but now there's so much talk of him being recast because he came out for another role, right? Like, no, unless he publicly genuinely comes out and goes, oh yes, I'm Silas's voice actor, it's actually just speculation.
Yeah, it is literally all speculation. These are all allegations. None of this is confirmed, therefore none of it can be actually pinpoint on the voice actor themselves, guys.
Right, and the misinformation stems from the past game. Like, people think, oh, once he gets found out, that's it, he's over, we're going to get him recast. Like, I don't think you guys understand the amount of time, energy, money, and...
Okay, this is an interesting little bit that she's saying here. I also kind of want to read this because this goes by really quickly in the TikTok. It's only really done in extreme cases such as immoral behavior or reflecting poorly on the company. This is in reference to replacing the voice actor or recasting the voice actor. And okay, I'm gonna let her continue.
And resources it takes into actually replacing a voice actor, especially like a year and a half down the line. Like, that's crazy, right? That takes a lot. And previously they replaced the voice actors because one of them said that Taiwan was a country, which is obviously not a good look for a Chinese company, so they dropped him, and the other two supported him because they were like, that's not a just reason for...
Which honestly, truthfully, I mean, it's kind of crazy that they lost their jobs because of that. I can understand because it's a Chinese game, but I feel like that's never happened in a different gacha game before. Anyway, I also want to make a comment about this. So, I don't know, should I call her Peachy? Peachy is saying here that it is incredibly difficult to replace a voice actor in a game. I would actually negate that. yes, it does take money. Yes, it does take time. However, the way that they do these kind of things, from my understanding, is that if, God forbid, okay, God forbid, Silas was taken out of Love and Deepspace and they had to find another voice actor, they would find another voice actor fairly quickly. Okay, there might be a patch where Silas is completely silent, but once they find somebody, they're going to like hire them, put them into the game, make them voice anything that is new in the game, and then slowly and retroactively change everything else in the back end. They might not even do that. They might not even bother replacing all of the previous content, and they're just gonna roll with the new voice actors. Like, that's what they did with the new game. And if you're gonna take like an example of something that's happened very recently now, like with the whole Genshin situation and all of the union nonsense that's happening, they can easily replace voice actors. I mean, yes, they had, just cause for replacing many of the main voice actors in the game because they didn't show up for work or whatnot. Like with Paimon, right? They replaced Paimon, and Paimon is one of the, I guess you can say that they're one of the most essential characters in the game. But they're going to slowly and retroactively change all of the previous voice lines, and it's going to be a really big payout for the voice actor, whoever is hired. But in terms of like effort of the company, if they're a really big company like Infold, they could do it pretty easily, guys. They could do it pretty easily. Now, if it's an indie company, if it's a small company that's very tight on budget, that would be really difficult. But guys, Infold makes millions. They make millions. They made 1 billion last year. You're telling me that they're not gonna have the resources to find somebody to voice Silas really quickly if he ever broke his contract? That is that is a wrong assumption there. That being said, the only time they would recast Silas is if the voice actor themselves does something probably immoral, yes. Breaking their contract and revealing on who they are, I don't know. It really depends. If it's an NDA like that, it is a breach of contract, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a breach of contract. But that only comes to fruition if the voice actor themselves admits that they voice Silas. In this particular situation where people are like hunting Silas's VA down, that is not fair. That would make me look, if I was a voice actor in Love and Deepspace and people were hunting me and going after me, being like, oh my god, I love who you voice, yada yada, how come you don't, say that you voice in Love and Deepspace, how come you don't show that? It feels very oppressive, and I really feel like you guys need to understand that, and I hope that you people understand that eventually. Anybody who is going after them unjustly, please stop. Just let them do their jobs, okay? Okay, let's continue on.
For you to drop the voice actor, so they dropped those two as well. Him voicing other people is not going to take him away from you. And I think most importantly, he's a voice actor. He has a job to do. He's going to have other roles. And if he comes out publicly for the other roles, people are going to find it, okay? The only thing you can do is just...
especially because Silas has such a unique voice and a voice pattern and way he talks. It is very... You know what? It was so funny to hear this character in that other game, and I was like, yup, yeah, that 100%, that has to be Silas. Like, it's really, really funny. People are gonna be smart enough to figure that out. It really depends on how you guys react to that information. That makes or breaks the situation, you know what I'm saying? So
be chill, because that's literally just his job, guys. Like, come on. I don't know what.
100%. I agree. Pichiku's she gets a point. She gets a point. The only little bit there that I didn't really necessarily agree with was the whole, like, it's so hard to replace a voice actor. I don't think it is. Not for a company that made $1 billion last year, guys. I don't really, like, money talks, and that kind of money, you can make a lot of things happen. You can make a lot of things happen. Anyway, that is pretty much the whole situation about the voice actors. Please just respect their space. Let them be who they are. If they're not going to comment back at you, you know, saying, oh, thank you, like, they're not going to engage with the Love and Deepspace community, because any wrong misstep that they make could inadvertently expose that they work for Infold. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody comments at them and they're like, oh my god, I love your voice in Love and Deepspace, it sounds so amazing, yada yada yada, and then the voice actor then says, oh, thank you, they're basically admitting that they're working for Infold at that point, right? So they're not gonna comment back. They're not going to make any sort of reaction to the lads community. If you want to talk to them, it would probably be better if you find the other works that they've been in and be like, I love your voice in so and so game. It reminds me of this other game that I play. It sounded so nice. There, that's it. It's very vague. It's very not incriminating. Guys, just be smart about it. Come on, you guys got brains. I'm hoping. You know what? That'll be the emoji. Everybody leave a brain emoji at the end in your comments. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Anyway, I am done ranting for tonight. I am pretty tired. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye-bye now.